Hey guys, finally after 1.5 weeks of rain, we have a lovely sunny day when the roads are dry. And I'm taking that opportunity to have a little ride along the lovely Dutch beach. I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about the waterproofness of the Evolve. The Evolve skateboard for me is absolutely the best skateboards out there, especially with their new GT and all-terrain setup. Big wheels are absolutely fantastic to take you over all kind of terrain. It will definitely prevent you from falling off if there is a bump in the road. We've seen other vloggers who have had issues with that. But the waterproofness is an issue, and that is definitely something I want to make you guys aware of. I've already had the Bamboo 1, the first version, back to the repair because we went out when the roads were wet, when it was raining. But also with the GT, it's definitely a no-go. Even though the wheels will take you through bad weather, it really is lovely out here. Anyway, I was out kite surfing a week in Brazil, and when I came back I had a nice little surprise for my son, as I had secretly bought the Bamboo GT, as I didn't want him to ride on my skateboard all the time.
What? Check!
Ooh la la.
Check! Nice!
But in the meantime, he had also a little surprise for me. He had been riding out on my skateboard every day to school, and the last day he did it, on the way back it had been raining, so he went through the rain, or at least he's claimed it wasn't raining anymore, but there were definitely very wet surface. The skateboard became pretty wet, and when we dried it out, it didn't start up again. Let me just stop here. So the main issue with the Evolve GT, it's made by Aussies, there's never rain. So what do they know? But we in Holland get a lot of rain. Now on the underneath side, it looks pretty okay. My issue was that here there was some water that came in. I'll show you later how I solved it. These sides are pretty okay, but the biggest issue is actually the top. You can see here, basically your feet get wet and water seeps in, and then you have an issue. Okay guys, I had a little issue with my Evolve skateboard, as my son rode it out when it was pretty wet outside. The bastard told him not to do that, but I was off kiting in Brazil, so there you go. Anyway, when I came back it was awfully dirty, and when we cleaned it, after we cleaned it, it didn't start up, but luckily the guys from Evolve Germany said just dry it out real well. So I opened up the top, as you can see here, and basically underneath this battery it was still a bit wet, so probably the mechanics something became wet, and after it was dried out it worked again. What I noticed is that the water actually didn't come in from the underneath side, but it came out from the top and it seeps down in there. And then obviously if this gets wet, you're in trouble. So what I now did is I took some silicone kit. So this is basically a silicone kit, and what I'll do is I have a small layer on the inside all around. I let this get hard, and then it's a bit rubbery and it's not sticking anymore. And then I'll put the top back on so that it will give a protective watertight layer, so the water will hopefully stop there instead of seeping in. The other problem I found was at the charger hole right here where it comes in. That was loose, and that's also where water could come in. The others are pretty well tight, so I put some extra there to make it watertight. Obviously I also found that this top, which is this kind of very sandpapery feel, is a bit hard to clean. Definitely don't clean it with water when it's screwed on top of the skateboard. Then you will definitely get water in an issue. It's very easy, as you can see. Just unscrew the 6 screws, no harm done then, and then you can actually wash it with water under the tap and it gets nicely clean again. So that is definitely the way to go. Okay, a couple of hours later, I dried it out in a dry room, and now the silicone is hard, so it doesn't stick anymore. So when I put on the cap, it will not stick to the cap, but it will give this protective layer, I hope. And here the silicone is also nice and dry, but still it is flexible, so that it will not come loose with all the vibration. So that's good. And let's see if we can close it. Okay, align it this way so the E should point the driving direction. There we go. Put in the screws. Okay, there we're done. Now obviously it is a little bit raised because of the silicone, but it just makes it very watertight. Looks perfect. Now you might wonder, what is all this string? I'm gonna cut it off, but that's just around on the underneath side here, so that I can have the cap, fasten it to the cap, so I don't lose the cap. Nice and easy. I'm too old for this shit. Okay guys, I just was setting up the GoPro, and while doing that, standing on the skateboard, I by mistake hit the throttle. Well, the skateboard is now about 30 meters away, and my iPhone is still working perfectly, but my nice new very ultra thin battery holder is broken. So lesson number 1, don't stand on your skateboard doing other things. If you hit the throttle, you're in trouble.